Okay, so today we're diving deep into a topic that impacts millions around the world, malaria.
Yeah.
But we're not looking at just any report or study.
Right.
We're going right to the source with an episode of a Nigerian health podcast called Healthy Naya.
Oh, cool.
Gives us a glimpse into, how people are dealing with this disease right there, where it's a major issue.
Yeah, that's a really valuable perspective.
Yeah, and one of the things that really stood out in this episode was
Yeah.
how much more vulnerable kids are
Right.
to malaria than adults.
Definitely.
So before we even unpack why that is,
Yeah.
Healthy Naya really emphasizes that it's the female Anopheles mosquito that transmits malaria.
Right.
So why are the females the dangerous ones?
Well, it really comes down to the female's need for blood
Okay.
to produce their eggs.
Okay.
So when a female mosquito bites someone infected with malaria, it picks up the parasite and then spreads it to the next person it bites.
Oh, I see.
Male mosquitoes, they're mostly feeding on nectar and things like that.
Okay.
So they're not really involved in spreading the disease.
So they're just out there living their best life.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's say you're in Nigeria
Okay.
and you get bitten by one of these infected mosquitoes.
Right.
The podcast mentions symptoms like fever, chills, headaches, all that. But it doesn't really explain, why those things hit you.
Yeah.
So, what's the science behind feeling so terrible when you have malaria?
Well, basically all those symptoms are your body's way of saying, hey, something's wrong.
Okay.
The malaria parasite is attacking your red blood cells. And your red blood cells are like tiny little delivery trucks carrying oxygen throughout your body. So when the parasite disrupts that, you basically start running low on fuel,
Oh, okay.
which leads to the fatigue, the chills, the
That's
aches,
physical.
the whole miserable experience.
That's where kids come in.
right. Exactly.
Well, bodies just aren't as equipped to fight off the parasite as an adult.
Exactly. Their immune systems are still developing. So they haven't built up all the defenses that adults have.
So it's almost like their immune systems haven't had enough practice yet.
Yeah, you could think of it that way.
It's that fighting off something like malaria.
Yeah, they haven't encountered enough different things
Yeah.
to be as effective as a fully developed immune system.
Okay, now the podcast doesn't just leave you feeling helpless.
Oh, no.
It offers some really practical prevention tips,
Yeah.
like sleeping under treated nets, using repellents, and eliminating standing water where those mosquitoes like to breed.
Right.
All good advice, but,
Yeah.
how does this actually play out in Nigeria?
Well, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Insecticide-treated nets are a great tool, but they need to be replaced regularly, and that can be a financial burden for some people.
Right.
Repellents can be expensive too.
Yeah.
And then you have the challenge of getting an entire community involved in eliminating breeding grounds, which requires resources and infrastructure that might not always be available.
Yeah. It sounds like a huge effort.
It's definitely a multifaceted challenge.
Absolutely. Now, another thing the podcast really stresses
Yeah.
is the importance of seeking medical attention. Immediately, if you even suspect you might have malaria,
Absolutely.
and they emphasize finishing all of your medication no matter what.
Right.
So, what's the reasoning there?
Well, you can think of it like fighting an enemy.
Okay.
You can't stop fighting until they're completely defeated.
Right.
Early diagnosis and a full course of the right medication
Yeah.
are absolutely essential, not only to eliminate the parasites,
Right.
but also to prevent complications.
Yeah.
If you stop treatment early, you're giving the parasite a chance to come back stronger
Oh, wow.
and potentially develop resistance to the drugs,
Oh, that's a problem.
which makes it even harder to treat future infections.
So it sounds like it's really crucial to follow the doctor's instructions
Yeah.
completely.
It's really the best way to ensure the most effective treatment.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
We've got a better understanding of how malaria spreads, those awful symptoms,
Right.
and the importance of both prevention
Yeah,
and proper treatment.
absolutely.
But here's something to think about.
Okay.
We've been looking at this through a Nigerian lens, thanks to Healthy Naya, but malaria is a global issue.
It is.
So how do prevention and treatment strategies differ in other parts of the world?
That's a great question.
Yeah, what unique challenges do they face?
Right.
And what successes have they had? It's something to keep in mind as you continue to learn about this disease.
It really makes you think about the bigger picture.
Absolutely. So keep digging, keep asking those questions,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next time
Sounds good.
for another deep dive.
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's see. Bye.